Welcome back to For the Record. Today we are reacting to the Rions' new album. It's actually their debut album, which is very exciting. They are an Australian band, I believe. I think they're Australian. I first found them almost exactly 2 years ago. I found them on Halloween of 2023. So I've been looking forward to this album for a while because they're a super sick band. This album has 13 songs. It's about 47 minutes long, which is a very good length for an album. I feel like a lot of albums this year have been like around half an hour. So 47 minutes is a good surprise. There were 4 singles before this project was released fully. We had Maybe I'm Just a Freak, Tonight's Entertainment, Shut You Out, and Cry. I'm gonna be so honest with you right now. Maybe I'm Just a Freak is one of my favorite songs probably ever. I listen to that song, I'm not even joking, like 10 times a day, and I've been listening to it like 10 times a day since it came out. So I have very high expectations for this album because even the other 3 singles are really strong as well. So let's get into the first song, which is Maybe I'm Just a Freak. So off to a good start, you know? What you think would happen, babe? I just forget the mess you made. So as I said before I listened to the song again, this song is one of the best songs I've ever heard, maybe in my entire lifetime. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god. For a little bit of context, I like to go sit by the water and look at the cruise ships that come into the dock where I live. And this is one of the songs I always listen to because it's so relaxing and so calming. It's just nice to sit there and look at the water and listen to this song. I love it. There's like this little whistle in I think like the beginning of the second verse that like the second I heard it, it like scratched my brain so well, and it's just such a soothing, smooth song that I can listen to over and over again without getting sick of it. And there's not many songs like that. Like the other one that comes to mind is like Smithson by Isaiah Huron. That's a great song too, by the way. Go check that out. They kind of have the same kind of energy to it where it's not the exact same thing all the way through, and it switches it up just enough that by the time you get to the end of the song, you want to hear the beginning of it again. You know what I mean? Like flows really nicely, and I love it. It's like it's honestly top 5 songs of the year if I had to choose one song from each artist. But if I had to pick like an actual top 5 songs of the year, they'd probably all be Sam Fender songs because I love Sam Fender. Top 5 individual songs, this is probably like 3. Song number 2 was also one of the singles. It was Tonight's Entertainment. So let's give it a listen. I have heard this song many times. I love this song. Let's hear it again. That song has grown on me so much since it came out. Like I didn't love it at first, but now it's my second favorite out of the 4 singles I put out. I think the reason that it didn't immediately stick with me was because Maybe I'm Just a Freak had come out earlier and I fell in love with that song immediately. Tonight's Entertainment didn't hit me in the same way that I'm Just a Freak did, so I never really wanted to go back to it because if I wanted to hear the Ryans, I was going to play I'm Just a Freak. You know what I mean? It didn't capture me the same way. And so I never thought to go back to it until it started getting stuck in my head all the time. And then now it's like one of my top played songs the last 2 months. This next song is the first new one on the project, song number 3. It is called Welcome to the Conversation. Let's give it a listen. That was a really great song. I really like the drums in that song. It sounded really nice, especially compared to the other 2. I feel like the other 2 didn't have as prominent drums. Like I feel like they were a lot more like smoother and calmer than that. That was a little bit more like heavy. I don't know if heavy is the right word, but it had more like rock in it. I think that was a song about like kind of accepting the fact and coming to terms with sometimes people in your life just don't treat you the way they're supposed to. I think they're talking about a relative of some kind in that song, whether it be a parent, a grandparent, someone in their life who's older. They definitely said now you're turning 60, so I'm assuming not like a brother or a sister. At some point you just have to accept reality and realize this isn't going to work out as much as I want it to. So you just have to kind of take a step back, reevaluate yourself, and move on to better things. You know what I mean? As much as those other people try to like manipulate you or beg for forgiveness, as they say in the song, sometimes they don't deserve it, and that's okay. And you just have to realize that. And I think it's better to realize that early on than later. I understand trying to like be mutual and like have good or not healthy relationships because a lot of times they're not, that way, but like respect, right? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it's good to have a level of respect, but you don't have to like that person to respect them. And I think sometimes stepping back and giving them space is the highest level of respect you can give. And I think sometimes it takes people a long time to realize that you don't owe bad people in your life anything. It's not your job to fix something that you didn't break. You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of what that also means. Like, don't expect anything from me because I don't expect anything from you anymore. Anyway, this next song is Shut You Out. This was a single. I've heard it before. I love this song so much. Oh my god. So let's give it a listen. This song has been out for a while, so I've had a lot of time to sit with it and think about it and form an opinion. I love this song. It's great. There's a part at the end, like in the second half of the song, that I don't know if it's like a keyboard or some kind of something. I don't know what it is. But it reminds me so much of the Coldplay song with the monkeys in it, which I think is Adventure of a Lifetime. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it reminds me so much of that. Like it's the same like tone, which is interesting. So that's pretty cool. This next song is called The Art My Mother Likes. Let's give it a listen. But I like it that you know that I did the same. It's gonna be so weird, and I don't know why my brain immediately went there, but the beginning little like 5 seconds, I immediately thought of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Which I don't know if anyone, like, I know a lot of people watched it, but I don't know if anyone's as chronically in line as me, and I watch that once a year at least. I want to say it's a love song when the yellow guy, like, gets sucked into the love place or what. I don't remember what it's called right now. I haven't watched it in a year, so, but I don't think it's that song, but it, maybe, I don't know. I don't remember what exact Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared song it is, but it reminded me a lot of that. But, hey, I love Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, and I like that song a lot too, so it's pretty cool. This next song is called Married to the Job. Let's give it a listen. That song kind of reminded me of, not like, it didn't sound like it at all, but when I was listening to it, I was thinking of Cats in the Cradle by whoever sings that song, which is the father's perspective of not being close with his son, and then in the end, when he tries to be close with him, it's too late. Or I don't remember exactly the story of Cats in the Cradle, but that's what it reminded me of. This is more of like the son's perspective of that kind of situation where dad's not as close when he needed to be close. You know, I did enjoy that song a lot. The chorus was very catchy. I will give them that. The song is the middle song on the album, song number 7. It's called "Oh How Hard It Is to Be 20." Let's give it a listen. Down the shitty head. Oh, how hard it is to be 20. When 20's all I am. That might have been my least favorite so far. It was a good song, and I do understand because like I'm 20 right now, and like this is like one of the worst ages to be because it's like a transition between being a teenager and being an adult, and it's just like hard to navigate. But I think as an overall song, I do think, you know, the point, we get the point. You talk about real life issues, which a lot of 20-year-olds face. But I think for me, I'm not going to go back to it as much as other songs because it is just a quick little acoustic 2.5 minute song. So I'm not going to, it doesn't hit me as hard as some of the other ones that I've heard so far. It was a good song and I do understand it pretty well. But I think when there's stronger songs in the project, it's one that I'm not going to go back to, you know. This next song is called Maybe It's Everything. Let's give it a listen. Maybe it's everything every single day. I can find all the things. That might be one of my favorites off this project so far. I don't think it's not better than Maybe I'm Just a Freak. As I've said, that's like one of the best songs I've ever heard in my entire life. I think it's definitely top 3 on the album for me right now. So I'm very excited to hear the second half of this project. Next song is called Scumbag. Let's give it a listen. I love that song. Oh my god, that was so good. I think that might be like number 2 on the entire project for me now. I think this is the newest single, like, you know, how people release singles with the album. I think this is the newest one because this is the one that's been getting pushed to me on Spotify on like release radar, like the playlist that Spotify will give every Friday when new songs are released. This is the one that like pops up the most. even in other playlists, like in my indie mix or alternative or whatever it may be, whatever kind of playlist I'm listening to, this is the one that I am now starting to see the most. Other than maybe I'm just a freak, I can see why. It's a great song. Really good pace to it. I really like that too. Again, the drums really added a lot to it. This next song is called Lobby Calls, and I'm very excited to hear it because maybe it'll be just as good as Scumbag. Maybe it'll be even better. Who knows? Let's hear it though. Okay, this will be probably the roguest comparison I ever make. And I don't think these songs sound similar whatsoever, but there's a part at the end of like I guess the chorus of this song that made me think of The Entertainment Here by AJR. Which listen, I understand the AJR hate that they get online. I There's some AJR songs that I like a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I think Neo Theater I do think is their best album, but I enjoy the Click. Like I understand the hate, but also like sometimes you gotta hate from the inside. You know what I mean? Like they're corny, sure. I do think they make catchy music. Anyway, that's besides the point. I don't know why it reminded me of AJR because this song is miles better than any AJR song, I guess. But there's a little part that like correlated the two in my brain. I don't know what was going on there. Also, a little like part at the end where one of the guys in the band, I don't know who it is like kind of like yelling, but it's like a background vocal kind of thing, and it's so Harry Styles coded. I think the last three songs, which are Maybe It's Everything, Scumbag, and then Lobby Calls, this one, I think that's such a good 3-song run. Like I think that might be some of the best songs on this project right in a row. I really like when that happens, when there's like a good few songs that come one after another, because you don't have to skip songs that often. This next song is called Wear Me Thin. Maybe it'll be a great 4-song run. Maybe this will be just as good as the last 3. But there's only one way to find out, and that's by listening to it. You love me then, like you love me now. I do think that was a really good song. I don't think it's as good as the last 3 that we heard. I'd rank it in the middle of like my favorite and least favorite songs that I've heard on this project. I do think it's one that will grow on me a lot though throughout my listening. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't stand out to me immediately, but it also doesn't fall to the back. Like over time, it'll be one that I just find myself going back to, kind of like Tonight's Entertainment. We are now on to the second last song. This was one of the singles. This is Cry. Let's give it a listen. Out of the 4 singles, that's the one that I go back to the least, just because it's not necessarily super relatable to me. On Instagram, when they released this song, they did a post and basically said that it's about like the cycle of toxic masculinity, which I guess is a good thing to talk about. I'm not a man, so it's not super relatable to me immediately. They talk about like kind of not taking accountability for things and blaming it on outside sources and like just I don't know. I don't know what toxic masculinity is exactly, but I know it's not a great thing. So like it's definitely something that needs to be fixed, right? I feel like I can't really speak on that though cuz I'm not a man and don't really experience toxic masculinity for myself. I do think it's an important song. I do think they talk about important issues. I just think for me, they're talking to the wrong person. You know what I mean? So it's one that I don't go back to that often, if ever. Also, another thing I will say, the first part of this song, like the first 10 seconds, I've been trying my very hardest to pin down what song it sounds like, and I figured it out. I asked my younger sibling the other day, like I sent them this song and was like, what does it sound like? Because I can't figure it out. It sounds like Thank You by Alanis Morissette. I don't know if anyone else hears that. I'm so glad that I finally figured it out because now it doesn't have to like eat away at me. We're on to the last song, which is called Adelaide. So let's give it a listen. I wish that I could just forget your name. But yeah. I don't know if they're talking about a person in this song or the place Adelaide, which is in Australia. I'm gonna assume they're talking about a person, but also like he said I'd buy another ticket back or something. I don't know. So because they didn't say the name in the song, they didn't say Adelaide. I don't think. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't pick up on it. I do think it is a person because they were talking about like getting back together, I guess. I think it's a really, really good ending to this album though. That is also top 5 on this album for me for sure. Overall, I think this is a really, really strong debut. I think the singles were super strong for the most part. And then even a bunch of songs that are not part of the singles, just part of the track list, I think are also really strong. I would say top 5 for me. Number 1 for me, always has been, always will be, Maybe I'm Just a Freak. And then I'd say Scumbag, Lobby Calls. I'd say this one. I'd say Adelaide is 4. And then Maybe It's Everything at 5. I think this is a really good debut. I think the beginning is really strong. I think the ending's really strong. Sure, there are some songs in the middle that don't pull me towards them immediately, which is fine. I think a lot of albums are like that. You know, there's songs off of my favorite albums of all time that I don't listen to, like Out of My Head with John Mayer off of Khalid's Free Spirit, or like Julia from Love Is Not Dying by Jerry Zucker. Even on the best of the best albums ever made, in my opinion, there are songs that I don't listen to because they're not as good or as strong as the other songs on the project. And this album is no different. Overall, great. I love it. I will continue to listen to it throughout the year. It's one that I will go back to a lot because I think some of the songs are so strong that I'll just have to hear them again and again and again and again and again. For my recommendation today, I would obviously recommend this album. I'd say the song that I'd recommend the most is Maybe I'm Just a Freak. I've given my praise to that song time and time again, and I will continue to do it time and time again because honestly, it's like one of the best songs I've ever heard. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. I think the next video will be the new Khalid album, which comes out tonight. Day of filming this, it comes out tonight. Day of posting this, I guess, Friday, the 10th, it'll be out. So, I'm so pumped about that. Oh my god, I can't wait. But for today, I'll be listening to the Rions. Bye for now, guys.